everybody for being here. I will be louder than the tuba, I hope. So this is the tea, okay? Like, it's a beautiful, gorgeous, this is like the first nice spring day. And you all decided to take a moment out of this day to come together as a community, to use your voice. Like Adam said, to speak for a group of people who you probably will never meet. You may never encounter them. But the thing that's tying you to these people in Brunei and the 10 other countries where it's legal to be put to death for being an LGBTQIA person, the thing that ties us together is not only our queerness, but our humanity. I think that's what's getting lost in this conversation, is we're all human beings. When people throw out, oh, well, my religion is this, or my race is this, or my sexuality is this, at the end of the day, we're people. We're human beings, and every single human being is put on this earth for a purpose and a reason. That reason may be a huge thing that's remembered for centuries, or it could be something that just impacts one person in one moment. But every single human life matters, and every life has a purpose. So for a sultan, not an elected figure, somebody who appointed themselves to a position to lead, says that murder of women for having an abortion is legal, murder for being an LGBTQ person, murder for having an affair, which I'm sure a lot of people do. It's wrong. It's fundamentally immoral. And it is our duty to speak up. Sure, I can't afford those hotels. I don't give a fuck about his hotels. But it is our job to continue to use our voices. And like Adam said, tell your friends in other cities around the world, even if it's only 2 people gathered, that's 2 people speaking up for what's right. And that will trickle out to 2 more people. And Adam talked about this, which I think is so great. The focus right now is on Brunei because that's what's in the news. But in the United States of America, the United States, we're not united. We're living in a nation that is so divided right now because we have a president and people who back him saying that queer people aren't allowed to serve in the military if they're transgender. We have police departments who refuse to investigate murders of transgender women of color because they don't fit the stereotype of what a murder victim that we should care about is. I care about them because they're a human being who has value. Stop electing people who don't give a shit about you and who don't give a shit about your friends and your neighbors. And to me, that's not just Republicans, but that's Democrats also. Find the candidates that are going to fight for you. Find the candidates that are going to take away, I don't like this, take away all the guns. I don't give a fuck. Take them away. We don't need them. Yeah. And I think that we're living in a time when it's not just Brunei, but we are a millisecond away from having this in our own country. We are a heartbeat away from Mike Pence being the president. Somebody who believes children should be shocked into being normal because that's what Jesus wants. I don't know what you believe, but I don't ever recall growing up reading that Jesus said to shock somebody to be who they are. I read growing up that Jesus, or any religion for that matter, said, love every human being as you would want to be loved, because we are human beings, and our obligation as human beings is to stand up for one another. We're fighting against not only Brunei, but the 10 other countries and the people in our own government telling us that we aren't equal. We are equal. Never be silent. It's this group, ACT UP, that's on our pins, that spoke out when our president then ignored an epidemic that wiped out a generation. No longer will we be wiped out. No longer will queer people be wiped out. No longer will people of color be wiped out. No longer will religious minorities or women be wiped out. No more. I think you being here today is a strong testament that equality will always win at the end of the day. And sometimes we take a few steps back, which is what's happening in Brunei. But if we keep marching forward, we will win. It may take a long time. And there's going to be moments where other countries may do this. Leaders in our country, there's what's this fuck from Iowa or Kansas State, what's his name? He's an asshole. You know, there'll be leaders here who move us backwards a little bit, but we have to continue to push forward even when we feel defeated. Because the more we push forward, the quieter they get. The louder we are, the quieter they are. It is our job to speak up, and I say this at a lot of rallies. If you see somebody who's being, because now hate speech is on the rise, if you see a member of the Jewish community or the Islamic community or a person of color or a woman or a queer person being harassed on the street because people feel empowered that they can do that now, don't be scared. Stand up to that bigot and tell them to sit down. There is no room for that in our country, and we will fight it in this country of Brunei as well. There's an election coming up in 2020 for president. Find the candidate that you think will fight this the best. Find the candidate on local levels in towns where you're from and your family is from, because there's going to be elections all across our country. And there's going to be people using hate speech and fear to incite bigotry. Tell your family why the Republican Party is not what they think it is. Tell them why they have to vote against it, because our lives are on the line. Our lives are at stake. Woo!